Hello, welcome to a new episode of Geek Lunch Meat. I'm your host Chris. As usual, in this episode, I thought we would take a look at some more Star Wars collectibles, things I've got in my collection. So this time around, I thought we'd look at the portfolios of all the sort of concept artwork that were produced for the original trilogy and for Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I'm not sure if they ever did portfolios for Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. I had a quick look around on the internet, on eBay. Couldn't seem to find anything. I don't believe they did them at all for the sequel trilogy either. So we'll start, back at the beginning with the gorgeous production paintings by Ralph McQuarrie for the original Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, which were done so that George could take them around to film studios when he was shopping the idea of the film. So, and then we'll finish with this rather nice shiny box for Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, which you'll probably get the camera and all sorts of things reflected in it due to its shiny nature. Yeah, let's dig right in. So as you can see, this is the Star Wars portfolio by Ralph McQuarrie, superb production paintings from the greatest space fantasy film ever made. And as you can see, the image on the front is a sort of prototype Luke wearing what looks like some sort of breathing apparatus versus sort of one of the early renderings of Vader. So if we turn this over, and it says, these are the astonishing paintings that help bring Star Wars to the movie screen. The mind-boggling imagination and graphic brilliance of artist Ralph McQuarrie captures all the excitement, energy and power of the film that was already thrilled millions and is destined to be the movie phenomenon of all time. So without any further ado, let's get this open. And let's have a look, see what we've got inside. We'll take these prints out. So as you can see, there's a sheet inside, Star Wars portfolio, paintings by Ralph McQuarrie. Opens up, there is some introduction, I suppose, from Carol Wikarska, the director of publications for Star Wars, just giving a bit of information about Ralph McQuarrie. Nothing on the back. So as you can see here, we've got the first image. It says, this painting establishes the massive proportions of the Death Star in relation to Han Solo's Corellian pirate ship. It is here seen being pulled into the Death Star hangar by a powerful magnetic tractor beam. Really nice. You can easily frame these up if you so desired. Back to the image that was on the front cover, Luke fighting Vader in what was to have been a scuffle aboard the Rebel blockade runner soon after Vader's Imperials captured the Rebel ship. Luke is wearing a kind breath mask because Vader's troopers apparently cut through a panel to get in, allowing the air supply to escape. So a bit of a different introduction there would have been to Luke. And fighting with Vader straight away, which obviously we didn't get to see until the end of Empire Strikes Back. The Tusken Raiders, and this painting, they used this, I think this bit, like this bit here, in Book of Boba Fett, when we see the Tuskens and when they're making the gaffy stick for Boba. So it says the Tusken Raiders, or Sand People as they're sometimes called, were conceived of as marginally human. They wear layers of clothing to protect themselves from the environment. We've got a couple of banthas as well. This is an interesting one because it's got the stormtroopers using lightsabers, sort of prototype stormtroopers, and we've got I think this is Han using a lightsaber, and the sort of prototype Wookiee in the background, who I think would basically become Zeb from Rebels. So it says, here we have an incipient confrontation as a small group of fugitives try to escape the Imperial Stormtroopers. Chewbacca is carrying the princess. A bearded Han Solo can be seen in an earlier costume design, a blue outfit with a cape, and Luke is in the background. McQuarrie envisioned the hallways as being lit indirectly through thin slots. Now, a lot of this sort of imagery becomes sort of part of Bespin in Empire Strikes Back. And of course, a lot of unused designs that were done for the original trilogy have turned up in the sequel trilogy, and indeed in the Mandalorian and the TV shows that are currently sort of running at the moment. Here we see the image of Luke overlooking Moss Eisley, the twin sons in the background, and the sort of a different design of the land speeder, and R2 and 3PO in the background. This is almost directly how it ended up in the film, with the rebel scout and the ships taking off to go and attack the Death Star on the moon of Yavin there. Then this, I'm right in thinking, was one of I think it was possibly the first painting that Ralph McQuarrie did, showing the early 3PO and R2 crash landing in the escape pod on Tatooine. And it says McQuarrie used a photograph of the Oregon coast to guide his painting of the landscape, following the line of the cliff and replacing the ocean with sand dunes. C-3PO was inspired by the beautiful robot seen in Fritz Lang's classic silent film Metropolis, but Lucas wanted it to look more male than female. And interestingly, we can see R2's got sort of these big pincer arms that would turn up on a chopper in Star Wars Rebels, and soon to be seen in the live-action Ahsoka show. Here we've got the Falcon in the hangar on Mos Eisley. I'm pretty sure this is the second version of this painting, because originally the ship that ended up becoming the blockade runner right at the beginning of the film was sort of the original design for the Falcon. Here we've got a painting of inside the TIE fighter cockpit attacking the Millennium Falcon as it's heading towards the Death Star there. This painting got obviously from the battle at the end of the film, with the Y-wings coming in to bomb the Death Star, which has got this big sort of open core. It says here, the open core apparent in the Death Star structure represented McQuarrie's concept of a laser cannon. A large power source, accelerators and condensers would all collect around the core, focus a terrific energy and fire out through the bottom, which obviously this became the dish shape on the side of the Death Star instead. Here we've got just Ralph's original concept for the cantina in Mos Eisley. Here we've got Y-wings and X-wings in the hangar on Yavin 4. It says the fighters designed by Colin Cantwell and revised by Joe Johnson. And then obviously this is Ralph's interpretation of them. This is absolutely classic shot. It's been, I think it's on the cover of the Art of Star Wars book, the trench run. Fantastic shot, very dynamic, of the X-wing with the TIE fighters following behind. That's one favourite of mine. We've got Luke and Leia, obviously in the Death Star when they're about to do the famous swing across the chasm. The Jawa Sandcrawler, which I think is absolutely fantastic design. It's good to see it cropping up in The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett as well. Just a lovely depiction of it at night time. And we've got little figures of 3PO and R2 down here as well. The throne room from the end of the film, when they'll all come to collect their medals, looking very similar to the matte painting that was eventually used to create the scene in the film. Forgot how many prints there are in here. There's quite a few. The Death Star hangar with the Millennium Falcon. Another view this time of the X-wings going down the trench towards the port they need to hit, obviously, to blow up the Death Star. Interior inside the Death Star, again, quite similar to the matte paintings that were done, to flesh out all the inside interiors of the Death Star. And again, almost identical to the matte painting that was done to show the entrance to the Rebel base on Yavin 4. And I think this is the final one. Yep, which again, just showing the different sort of angle of the Falcon inside the Death Star. So that's it for A New Hope. And we're bringing the Empire Strikes Back paintings, which they went for a sort of a much sort of wider, sort of widescreen format. I can barely fit in the camera there, but there you go. Dazzling production paintings from the spectacular space epic. Again, Empire Strikes Back. Portfolio by Ralph McQuarrie. And there we got Cloud City on the front. And these are 24 breathtaking full colour paintings in this one. So let's have a look. Looks like, again, we've just got a little introduction. Yep, just a bit of text. It actually lists all the paintings and gives you a description rather than the other one having the descriptions on there. Gorgeous shot. These would absolutely be fantastic to get framed. You'd probably have to get custom frames for these with these odd shape. Luke on his Tauntaun, obviously, on Hoth. Inside Echo base on Hoth as well, the Rebels. We've got R2 and 3PO here. Obviously, the design's now dialed in from the first film. Exterior of the base, laser turret, and here it's like a little Tauntaun and Rider. The probe droid, one of my favourite designs in Star Wars. It's about to discover the Rebels hidden away on Hoth and report back to the Empire. Luke in the Bacta tank. I think we've got, that must be Leia and Han viewing on 21B, the medical droid. Imperial troops approaching the power generator during the Battle of Hoth. Inside the hangar, we've got the Falcon, we've got the snow speeders, looking slightly more compact. I think the design of those changed obviously slightly when they were built, and X-Wings in the background there, and another little Tauntaun looking much more sort of lizard-like there, obviously an early design. The Iron Cannon, that's fantastic painting, the Iron Cannon shooting to take out the electrical systems of the Star Destroyers, allowing the Rebels to escape. Absolutely fantastic, this one. Like the Rebel soldiers in the trenches, absolutely gorgeous. Love that piece of artwork. Quite a famous piece of artwork. Gets seen quite a lot. That might be on the cover of the Empire art of book, possibly, with the snowspeeder, tying up the legs of the attack. Sort of gorgeous up angle, very dynamic, really lovely piece of art. So again, these are snow speeders, coming, and troops coming to attack the downed walkers. Say slightly, very sort of smaller, more compact snub design of the snow speeders there. And again, a Tauntaun, not a scene that was in the film. Tauntaun running away. Again, very slightly different design, much more sort of lizard-like at this point. And we've got these sort of bore turrets on the front of the attack, which obviously changed for the final design. Again, another fantastic shot, would look beautiful framed up on the wall for Luke escaping his wrecked speeder with the AT-AT looming in the background that he's about to take out. Design of the Star Destroyer, again, they're very similar this to the actual matte painting that was used in the film. You can see Vader as well there. Here, obviously, Luke having crash landed on Dagobah, R2 here, probably about to get eaten and spat back out by whatever it was under the swamp water. Concept of Yoda's home. Yoda looking slightly different than he does in the film. They've pretty much got him dialed in there, but he went through quite a different few design changes. There he is riding on Luke's back, and we get to see some more of the environment of Dagobah. So the image from the front cover, gorgeous shot. We've got the twin pod cloud car and the whole of Bespin, very similar again to the matte painting used in the film. Here we've got Lando and an aide greeting our heroes as they arrive at Cloud City. Here you can see Lando and Leia. A white Cloud City pod car there, and just a sort of expansive background, and so very similar to what we see in the film, especially in the special editions when they added this sort of architecture in behind the windows. This shot pretty much taken from the film. This is a matte painting, and you see that the cloud car come round. You've got Han and Leia up in their apartment. The light on this piece of art, particularly gorgeous, that sort of late evening sort of sunlight, absolutely lovely. We've got the duel between Luke and Vader as he's about to go flying out the window. Here we can see inside the shaft that Luke ultimately falls down after being given the devastating news that Vader is indeed his father. Spoilers there. There we can see as he's just about to go over and tumbling down the shaft. And yeah, I think that's the last one. Yep. So particularly nice set of images. Really outstanding work Ralph McQuarrie did on Empire Strikes Back. So let's move on to Return of the Jedi. And for Return of the Jedi, they have gone back to the more squat shape, not so much the widescreen, back to the like they did with the originals. We've got Return of the Jedi portfolio again, magnificent production paintings from the fabulous space epic with the sort of Death Star battle above Endor on the front there. And this one we can see we get 20 dazzling full colour paintings from the sensational space adventure. So let's open this up. This one's got a piece of cardboard inside to keep it stiff, stop it getting damaged. So again, we have descriptions of all the 20 paintings. Got a great shot of Jabba's palace with R2 and 3PO arriving from the beginning of the film. Very similar again to the matte painting that was done for the movie. We've got Bib Fortuna meeting the droids inside. And then the audience with Jabba himself here. We've got Luke has turned up, about to probably end up down in the Rancor pit. And the Max Rebo band, a fantastic bit of artwork. We've got Salacious Crumb in the back. We've got Lando in his skiff guard disguise, and what's his Hermie Oodle? I think his name was in the background there. Lovely. That would make a really nice framed print. We've got the droids down in the sort of droid where that droid is tortured, isn't it? And they get R2 gets his restraining bolt put on and get given their jobs subsequently in Jabba's palace. And there we go. There we've got Luke with the Rancor, Gamorrean guard, having already been chomped on. It's a particularly nice painting. That I love the design of the Rancor, is fantastic. We've got the Sail Barge battle above the Sarlacc pit as well. We can see Han here struggling with a guard. And here we are at the end of the battle with the Sail Barge blowing up in the background as our heroes escape on the skiff. Straight into the speed bikes on Endor. Again, gorgeous piece of artwork. But Luke here being followed by the Imperial Scout troopers. Lovely use, of the lines to create the speed. Here we've got Vader arriving on the Death Star. I'm not sure if that's meant to be from the beginning of the film, or we've got all the Emperor's guards there. I'm not sure if that's meant to be like an early rendition of the Emperor or something in the background. And the gorgeous shuttle Diderium sort of design in the background there, always a favourite. Here we've got some Ewoks looking a bit more sort of generic teddy bearish in their early design, carrying 3PO, thinking that he's some sort of god. And we can see Han just about tied up there, ready to be sacrificed. Love gorgeous painting of the Ewok village, and Leia there as well. Here you can see where Luke hands himself in with the AT-AT here, and say the base on Endor, and Vader coming to take him away to see the Emperor. We've got the battle on Endor, AT-ST versus Ewoks with their catapult. Here we've got the final confrontation between Vader and Luke in the Emperor's throne room. Yeah, here's the Emperor zapping Luke with his force lightning. Sort of see some ships on fire in the background as the battle rages outside. Here's a lovely shot of the A-wings, which changed. I think they sort of got red markings in the film. Here's a sort of say a blue wing design for them. Again, the image, I think was up from the front, wasn't it, of the battle taking place over the Death Star and Endor, a space battle which to me probably still hasn't been equaled in all the years since. A lovely shot. This was a concept which was going to be used in the film with the B-wings. It was never actually shot in the end. But I love the design of the B-Wings, always been one of my favourite ships, and we've got them there blowing up Star Destroyer in the background. And I think this is the final painting of the Falcon and an X-Wing, be Wedge, when it blowing up the reactor there in the middle of the Death Star at the end of the film. So that's it for the original trilogy. Let's take a look at the box for Episode 1, Phantom Menace. So we've got a slightly fancier set for the Phantom Menace. It comes in this lovely metal box. I bought this in Disney World at the Star Tours shop at the end of the ride. It was up on a shelf behind the desk, and I said, I said to the woman who was serving, "Oh, what was that?" And she said, "Oh, it's this beautiful set. It's quite expensive though, just to warn you." I said, "Well," so I had a look anyway, and I said, "Well, how much was it?" And it was about $30. It was not very much money at all. Not what I would consider expensive for this set. I say it comes in this real shiny metallic box, which is a nightmare for keeping dust free. It's got this band round it, which has got Darth Maul artwork on it. I'll see if I can get in close. It might just reflect the camera. Yep, there's me and the camera, but you can just see it's got Episode 1, and it's got the Queen's Naboo cruiser etched into it, and Doug Chiang's signature etched in as well. So yes, these are paintings by Doug Chiang, who did most of the designs for Episode 1, and I think he's like one of the main design guys on The Mandalorian at the moment. If we open up this box, oh yeah, it's a bit more fancy. It's got this, you have to sort of take this cardboard up, and then they come out like that. And there's this piece of sort of tracing paper to keep them clean. And we've got, again, this is just a little introduction bit by Doug Chiang talking about his work on Episode 1. We start off straight away with the Queen's Naboo cruiser. There's several of them as well, so they must have been originally in the script as they're escaping from the blockade of Naboo. Other ships must have been coming out as well. Doug Chiang's style, very reminiscent of Ralph McQuarrie's. Easy to see why he was chosen to head up the Episode 1 design department. Here we go from the beginning on the Trade Federation ship with a server droid bringing drinks to Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, looking a bit different there. So an exterior of the Republic ship coming to dock in with the Trade Federation. Here we can see the destroyer droids. And I don't know, again, we've only got the one figure here, so maybe in the original script it was mainly only Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon. I'm not sure who. I'm assuming by the age that's meant to be Obi-Wan, who's obviously been trying to get into the door. So maybe Qui-Gon was not with him in the original script. Here we can see the Trade Federation ships as they come in to land and invade Naboo. Always like that design, very sort of different to what we'd seen before, but still very Star Warsy. Here we've got, obviously, where the Trade Federation tanks, we've got the staps with the battle droids on them. Everyone's favourite Gungan Jar Jar here. And again, I'm assuming that's just with Obi-Wan. So yeah, it looks like definitely Qui-Gon was not around at this time. A beautiful shot of the battle droids on the staps. Always love their design. I think it was one of the first images. It was the sort of sneak preview toys they released, was the battle droid on the stap way before the film come out. So yeah, great design. Beautiful painting of the palace of Theed on Naboo. I've seen some of these paintings in real life. There was an Art of Star Wars show they did at the Barbican Centre in London. I think it was in 2000, and they had some of the original paintings. And to see these and to see the original brushstrokes, and you can see where the airbrushing has been done, absolutely gorgeous. I think they had some of Ralph McQuarrie's paintings there as well, just to see them up close and see all of his marks was absolutely fantastic. So this is in Theed with the Nemoidians looking a bit different as they come in and invade the city. Here we've got them in the Gungan sub, when they're travelling through the planet's core, being attacked by variously bigger and bigger monsters as they do. This is in the pod racing stadium with, was it a Neope, I think they are, pulling out one of the engines there. classic. I think this painting was definitely at the exhibition. Absolutely gorgeous. Of Anakin's pod racer with probably Sebulba exploding in the background there. It's absolutely gorgeous. So that would make a lovely framed print. And we've got Darth Maul and his Sith infiltrator ship in the background arriving on Tatooine. Coruscant, obviously, I think that was it. Episode 1 was the first time we'd seen. Well, I think they added it to the end of the special editions, didn't they, of Return of the Jedi? But otherwise, it was sort of the first time that we had seen the sort of Imperial home world. Turned up a lot recently in Mandalorian. Here you've got the temple on Naboo with Boss Nass. We've got obviously the Queen. We've got Anakin. We've got Jar Jar. Looks like we've got Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan here now. So maybe this was done at a later date when Qui-Gon had been added to the cast. Here from the battle at the end, we can see the Gungans on their various mounts. This is one of my favourite images. The N1 Naboo starfighter, an absolutely fantastic design. Nothing like we've seen in Star Wars. Obviously, the Rebel ships during are all grungy and beaten up. This was the first time we've really seen stuff in its prime, and with the chrome at the front and the bright yellow. Absolutely fantastic design. Great to see it used again in the Mandalorian as well. Obviously, in a much more chrome and souped up hot rod version. There's obviously an unused design, some flying creatures with Gungans on them being attacked by the battle droids on the Staps. Very reminiscent, though, to what we would then see in Episode 2 on Kamino with all the clones and stuff, with this sort of these sort of flying manta rays coming out of the water and things like that. So they always tend to reuse designs. Nothing ever gets wasted. Another image of the Gungans riding their mounts at the battle at the end of the film. And last but not least, here we've got one of the Trade Federation tanks attacking the Gungans as well. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed looking through these portfolios. Some of the gorgeous artwork been used in the creation of the Star Wars movies. Thanks for watching. Until next time, eat geek and be merry.